Hello, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our bets and your bets, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Major League Baseball show for July 23rd. We're a little late getting this out. Do apologize as the books are taking their sweet, sweet time putting out lines and everything. But interesting day. Hopefully, you guys got a chance to watch on Tuesday. Dodgers, what the hell happened? Giving up 10 runs in a Yamamoto start? Wow, they score 7 and not enough to win. We told you the Cubs were going to trounce. They did 6-0. We told you the Guardians were going to win that one as well. 6-3 there. Pirates upset the Tigers again, but the Tigers did score some runs, but so did the Pirates. Holy crap, an 8 spot on Tuesday. Marlins get another win. Nationals, we told you, one of the upsets of the day. Phillies get a win over the Red Sox. No surprise there. Rays, White Sox was tight. A couple shockers of the day. Blue Jays lose a home game. 5-4. Kind of shocked on that one. The Mets-Angels game, not much scoring going on in that game. Giants actually scored 9 runs. Rangers, easy victory with DeGrom on the mound. Rockies get another big win over the Cardinals. They got to Fetty early and often. In that one there. And Astros 3-1 win with Fromber on the mound. They didn't score as many runs against Eduardo as we thought they would, but Astros figured out how to get her done, adding 3 runs late to that game to win it. And the Brewers finally lose. That 11-game win streak is over. And also they lose the best record in baseball back to the Cubs. So an interesting Tuesday. We've got a bunch of day baseball here for this Wednesday. Let's get started as it's getaway day, so it's rock and roll time, right? So 3, 4, 6. And I will say this, if you're wanting to get in this week, Thursday is going to be like only 5 games on that day completely, so this might be the last day here before Friday, so just a heads up there if you're looking for something. If you're new to our show, first of all, welcome. Secondly, we do fade or follow 4 baseball teams. And that's where we play all of our bets: Cubs, Dodgers, Royals, and Orioles. Of course, the Cubs and the Royals are playing each other, so there's basically 3 games that we're in. We have plenty of bets there, but don't worry. We will give you plays throughout the entire lineup. If there's a play that we don't have, probably because we're not interested in it, or you could always join the Discord, which you can find the WOP checkout, WHOP checkout on YouTube here. Once you do check out and pay for the Discord, we will get you in. You can ask a lot of questions there, but there's 5 million different wagers you can make in baseball games, folks. We're not going to have something on every wager. It's just not possible, not feasible. So we will try to get you a majority of them, though, that we do like, and some games we just don't like. We think the bookmaker's spot on with it, or there's no real advantage for you as a player. So just keep that in mind as we roll through the lineup. Let's get started, shall we? We shall, right? We're going to get started 12:05 Eastern time frame. I'm sorry, 12. I can't even tell you what time we're getting started. Well, I'm telling you what. 12:05 Eastern time frame, Nationals and the Reds to get us started. So Lodolo versus Soroka in this one, total 8.5. Normally with this pitching matchup, I would honestly think over 8.5 is the Reds are about $1.30-ish favorite here. The major reason for not being able to get behind the Reds is what? That early time frame normally speaks unders. But, I mean, that time frame game kind of scares us a little bit on what's going on for sure there. So this one here, not quite sure. There's not how to put this. The early games, sometimes there's not a lot to love on that end there. Do apologize as we were leaning forward as we kind of freezing up a little bit on the screen. But with the Reds here, I think you got to like them, I think, to start this off. This could be a low-scoring game. I'm not really looking forward to the total in this one. Like I said, this green would scream over except for the time. The time Sometimes these games throw these players off just a little bit. They get out of routine, so sometimes it doesn't hold up quite as well. But give us the Reds money line first 5 innings. Reds money line for the game in this one here. Next game up, 12:10 Eastern time frame. Sandy Alcantara and the Marlins hosting the Padres. So 2 low-scoring games basically to start it off. In this one here, Dylan Cease and Alcantara totals at 8. This is the game I think that does go over here. Alcantara has definitely given up quite a few runs to every offense, whether they've been struggling or been hot. And then Dylan Cease, strikes people out, but walks too many guys. Can't seem sometimes to close out an inning with 2 outs. So like the total here in this one at 8, over 4 first 5. Over 8 for the game in that one. Slight lean to the Padres, but more interested in the total, I think, is where you should be kind of focused there. Next game up, 12:15 Eastern time frame. Giants and the Braves. Strider versus Verlander. Verlander still does not have a win all season long. The record's up to 0-8, ERA of 5. Yes, he's eaten a few innings here for the Giants, but I mean, when are they going to be like, okay, maybe enough's enough? And Justin Verlander, I think the Hall of Famer. I mean, he's had a fantastic career. Just, these guys are pitching now ridiculously late in the careers, right? So kind of shocked the Giants really haven't made a move here, but they did trade away a couple pitchers earlier for that Rafael Devers trade. So maybe can't really give up on Verlanders. There's not anything really left in the tank too much this one here. And we come off on this thing that the Braves are a sizable favorite, obviously, with Strider. I honestly think you got after the 9-0 beatdown they took yesterday, I think the Braves is the play. Braves minus a half a run first 5 innings. Braves money line and minus 1.5 on the game. I just don't. I mean, there's possibilities here or pass to lose for the Braves, but pitching matchup, at least starting wise, they have a huge advantage here. Difference is the Giants bullpen is definitely better than the Braves bullpen. But the Braves have to score some runs. I mean, to put up a donut with this quality of team is pretty ridiculous. Like, it doesn't make a ton of sense. I mean, with guys like Acuna and Riley and all, like Olsen and Azuna, and Ozzie Albies, guys that we know can hit the ball, them not being able to score anything whatsoever doesn't make a lot of sense. And they've got to really figure that out. I'm surprised they haven't started moving pieces as of yet to try to see what they can get together. Maybe there's, you never know. Maybe there's talks going on in the back, about the pieces they can move. But realistically, it's basically time to probably start reloading for next season after that for the Braves. Pitching is obviously something they're going to be looking for, pitching prospects, as they have a lot of hitters throughout. But, yeah, like I said, shocked about the donut, and they should be as well. Next game up, 12:35 Eastern time frame game. Pirates and the Tigers. So what can be said for the Tigers right now besides struggle fest? Melton on the mound against Falter in this one. Tigers are about $1.50 favorite. I honestly think the funk that they're in, this is a prime opportunity, I think, to get on the Pirates again. Pirates plus 1.5, plus a half front 5. Until the Tigers can figure out how to put up some wins, and they might get, they got one against Texas here, in the series, and that's when Skubal pitched. But if you're only going to get a win every 5 to 6 days, that doesn't really bode well. They have not hit well when they needed to hit, well. They have not pitched well when they needed to pitch well. They didn't pitch well yesterday. They didn't hit for the 4 games previous to that. Tigers in a little bit of funk right here. The good news is the only team that was really hot, really hot in the American League was the Brewers. I mean, not the Brewers, sorry, the Blue Jays at home. And, of course, they lose to the Yankees. So they're not really giving up much ground when it comes to leading the American League overall. But, they've got to figure out how to pick some of this stuff up. They do not want to play in the wild card round. They lose that big advantage with having Scooble being able to go twice if Scooble has to pitch in the wild card round instead of game one of the divisional round and then, game one, game five, and get you a couple, not easy victories, but a couple definitely games you should win. And then you only got to win is a couple more games in that series. So keep that in mind there. Like I said, I don't think that I don't think the Tigers are going to be an issue long term. I just think until they can break out of this funk, I think you definitely have to go with the Pirates here, and you're getting good value as well. It's not like, Melton, it's not like they're putting out Scooble today and they're a $1.50 favorite. When Scooble's on the mound, hell, they're almost a $3 favorite against everybody. So, like I said, I think advantage time for the Pirates in that one there. Next game up, we get to the 1:10 Eastern time frame game. The Mets and the Angels, Burke and Sean Manaea in this one. I'm absolutely floored that the Angels and the Mets did not score more runs on Tuesday than what they did. I thought for sure that game just smelled over, and then the offenses honestly came out and laid an egg. Both those pitchers or Montas and Hendricks were not that great for them to come out and not put really up any runs. So disappointing offensive execution. What can you expect out of these two teams? It's hard to figure out exactly what these two teams are. The Angels seem to be better on the road, or at least they're involved. They're involved in games on the road, where at home they seem to get smacked around. The Mets offense, that was supposed to be the highlight of this team. It's actually been probably the bigger disappointment. Maybe they get hot again in September or something, the Mets, but, man, it seems like we've waited all season for them to get smoking hot. Now, in April, they were hot, especially at home, but that's definitely cooled off. They were hot when Alonso was raking like crazy. Now that Soto seems to be hitting well and the rest of the guys don't seem to be hitting well, of course, they're struggling. This is my problem with Soto and the amount of money that they paid him. He's not when he's successful, it doesn't seem to lead to wins. He seems to put up numbers that, in losses, or he puts it up in games where they've easily won. But if you really go through it and look, like high stress or stress point at bats, he just does not seem to be the guy. Where if Alonso hits a 3-run homer, you can almost bank that game that the Mets won. It's not that case with Soto. I honestly think the Mets have to maybe one of those player-only meetings is kind of what they need to get something figured out here. But it's a little disturbing to see what's going on with the Mets right now, to say that for the least. Now, that being said, in this game here with Manaea on the mound, they're about a $1.80 favorite. I think advantage is to the Mets in this particular one. I play them -0.5 first 5 innings and money line, or -1.5 for the game on that. But it's, like I said, a little disturbing to see what we're seeing out of them at the moment for sure. If you're a Mets fan, I can understand being extremely upset. Next game up, 2:20 Eastern time, Cubs-Royals. Seth Lugo for the Royals against Colin Ray. So the lovely Royals go back to what they normally do offensively, which is nothing. It's a shame. Like, this team was so much fun last year, and now you just want to throw a brick at the TV every time you watch them. Offensively, they just can't seem to string hits together. It's not a lot of fun, to say the least. Lugo, last time out, 6 innings. He did give up 5 to the Marlins. Time before that, went 6 innings, gave up 2 to the Pirates. And game before that, 6 1/3, gave up 1 here. Cubs offense came alive yesterday. I didn't think Rich Hill was going to pitch long, so we haven't took him against a left-hander in quite some time, but the Cubs were able to figure their way through that one there. Colin Ray's pitched pretty decently the last few here. We've got quite a few plays we like in this game, so let's give you all those. Cubs money line, -1.5, 2.5, and 3.5 on the run line. Cubs money line, first 3, first 5, and first 7 innings. Cubs over 4.5 team total. Royals under 4.5 team total. The 2 hitters we're focused on in this one, PCA and Michael Busch. Same 5 bets apiece. Home run, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, and 3+ total bases. Next game up. Cardinals and the Rockies. Gordon versus Poliente in this one. Totals at 11. Cardinals a big, pretty sizable favor here. Let's be honest with you. The Cardinals were extremely disappointing on Tuesday. Got a good win on Monday, 6-2. Kind of want to, for a Colorado victory, kind of ho-hum, right? Like, what didn't put up double-digit runs, but they pitched well. Fetty got shelled, and they could never seem to recover from that early hole. This one, Poliente, I expect to give up some runs in this one as well. It's not like I don't expect him to stroll through this game without doing anything. Rockies at 25 wins. Obviously, in order to avoid what the White Sox did last year, they're still going to need, 61 games left. They're going to need to figure out how to win almost half of them, which I don't think they're going to be able to do. But they have played better compared to what they were doing the first 2-3 months of the season. This one here. I honestly think here the Rockies can score some runs, and the Cardinals are a little overvalued here, to say the least. I just think almost a $2 favorite. It's a little high for what the Cardinals have been putting. Totals at 11. Rockies plus a half a run first 5 innings. Rockies plus 1.5 and 2.5 for the game. I'd stay away from the money line here. I think the better value is definitely on the run line plus runs with the Rockies. Also, I think that over 11's definitely got some chances to go over that number there as well. Next game up, Brouhaha's and the Mariners. Castillo and Priester in this one. 1-0 game. The Brewers finally couldn't figure out the way to hit. It was a tough one. I mean, to lose 11-game win streak and lose 1-0, you feel like those games you should be able to win. You feel like if you can't score 2 runs, you're not going to win a game anyway. So kind of a tough way for the losing streak to kind of end. Normally, when it comes to these winning streaks and losing streaks, so if you're on a long winning streak, you tend to lose 2 in a row as you're kind of deflated after the win streak comes to an end here. We're just going to play more of a typically what happens here. So I think Mariners money line first 5 innings, Mariners money line for the game in this one. But that's normally what happens is that, you win 10 in a row or 11 in a row. And then when you finally lose one, then you do lose 2 in this one. But should be probably another tight scoring game. So wouldn't blame you if you want to go play on the Brewers run line plus 1.5 as well, or plus a half first 5 innings. Priester's pitched all right. You can't really argue with what he's done. Above expectations, I think, is pretty easy to say for him on what he's been able to accomplish so far this season, pitching-wise. So wouldn't blame you for playing the run line there. I think the Mariners do figure out a way to win. It's probably just a 1-run game, though, as a lot of those games in Seattle seem to be. Next game up, 3:40 Eastern time as well. Astros, Diamondbacks. So Astros 3-1 win with Valdez. Brandon Pfaadt against Walter in this one. Walter's been better at home than on the road. Pfaadt pitched well in his last outing. The D-backs, I think, snag a game here in this series. Not a lot of faith in this particular one here. This is not definitely throw a couple mortgages down. But do think that that the D-backs can snag one game out of the series. Like I said, the best thing for the D-backs to do is to continue to lose and get further and further. That way they trade off these pieces, get rid of them, and get some prospects back, especially some pitching help maybe for the future, some other guys throughout the lineup, as it seems like they're still heavily reliant upon Marte, Corbin Carroll, Suarez this season. But, having a couple additional guys that are younger that can, they have some team control over, as they're not going to go out and spend with the Dodgers, could definitely help. But it seems like they've went and spent on some pitching. The pitching necessarily hasn't paid off. Corbin Burns, that huge contract, obviously he's on the shelf. The Eduardo Rodriguez deal definitely hasn't worked. The Jordan Montgomery deal didn't work. Maybe a young pitching prospect. Those are hard to come by, but the D-backs need some sort of infusion here. I just, they're not. This is not a team that's going to go to the playoffs this season. So the sooner they can get to sellers in this market, as they have about 4 pieces that could bring a nice little haul of prospects back. They could stock their farm system for quite some time. They just, teams have to be proven like you're not going to compete for it this year. And the only way to really do that is with losses. So on that one there. But next game up, then we're on to the Dodgers and the Twins. That might have been, after all the games on Tuesday, the biggest shock to me was the Yamamoto start for the Dodgers and the Twins putting up 10 runs on an offense that realistically without Buxton is not that great. There's not really many names in it. Carlos Correa continues to make $35 million a year for subpar $35 million a year money, but the Twins figured out how to get it done. Get a nice win there. I don't – Glass now, to be really honest, I thought the Dodgers completely overpaid him, but that's the thing with the Dodgers. They can overpay guys and still be okay. They develop players probably better than any other organization in the big leagues as well. I do like them in this particular spot, but obviously they're pretty heavily juiced, so it gets a little, gets a little tough going to that well quite often. I will say on the other side, though, Chris Paddock does give up a lot of fly balls, home runs, things of that nature. Paddock's never quite panned out to be the pitcher that, as he was coming up as a prospect, as he's kind of panned out to be, as they hoped. But, I mean, he does eat some innings, though, as well. But let's give you all the plays here. Dodgers money line -1.5, 2.5, 3.5 on the run line. Dodgers over 4.5 team total. Dodgers -0.5 run first 3 innings, -1.5 first 5 and 7. We're going to the bets in Ohtani. Well, Ohtani, obviously, a couple home runs in this series already. Same 5 bets apiece for both players. Home run, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, and 3+ total bases. Then we get into the night game, 6:40 Eastern time frame games. Orioles and the Guardians. So been a good series so far. At least for the Guardians. They put up another 6th spot. Cicione versus Eflin in this one. Slight favorite here. The Guardians are about $1.25 favorite roughly. Total at 8.5 in this game. If the Guardians are going to hit, then all of a sudden this team looks like it's going to win a bunch of games. Because this team can't pitch even without monster names, maybe in the starting rotation, but this team can't pitch. They've got good relievers as well. I don't think they've got enough firepower here to, if they made the wild card round, to really do any damage. But if they can hit, they're going to cause problems for a lot of teams. We expect them to be able to hit actually in this game here. We expect the Orioles to be able to put up some runs as well. That over 8.5, I think, is something we're going to attack. It's been over in both games so far to the series. Game 1 was 15. Then they get to the 9, over 8.5 yesterday. We like the totals in this one a bunch. So Guardians, Orioles over 2.5 first 3 innings, over 4.5 first 5 innings, 6.5 the first 7, 8.5 for the game. Angel Martinez, Jose Ramirez, by the way, another home run for him. Angel Martinez, another double for him. Gunnar Henderson and Ramon Laureano, all 4 hitters, same 5 bets apiece. Home run, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, and 3+ total bases. Next night game up is going to be at 7:05 Eastern time frame. Red Sox, Phillies, Luzardo versus Giolito in this one. I have a hard time with Luzardo here. In my opinion, he's got some of the best stuff out there for a left-handed starting pitcher. Just a lot of times he doesn't know where it's going, or he leaves it across the middle of the plate, and then teams hit it, right? So, at the start of the season, he was lights out for a minute, and then all of a sudden started giving up 6 runs, 5 runs, things of that nature. Now, on the other side, Giolito has really pitched his rear end off, I think, for most of the season. It's definitely a comeback season for Giolito and what he's been able to do here in this one. To be really honest here, if the Red Sox are going to steal a game, this is the one here, and it's our favorite dog of the day with the Red Sox. And the Red Sox normally hit left-handers. So we do like the Red Sox in this spot. Red Sox plus a half a run first 5 innings. Red Sox plus 1.5. Also, we look at the Red Sox money line first 5. Red Sox money line for the game. This is the game they should be able to take home. Alex Bregman we'd be watching for in this one as well. Russ Snyder, as he normally is the left-handed, going against the left-handed pitcher specialist for the Red Sox, but expect them. They play well against lefties. They're one of the few teams that actually hit lefties better than righties for the most part. So keep that in mind there. But we do like the Red Sox to finally get a win in this series and get the upset here over the Phillies. Next game up, 7:07 Eastern time frame. Bassett and the Blue Jays, Yankees, and Max Fried. So Max Fried was so dominant at the start of this season, and since a couple starts before the All-Star game, he has been god-awful. There's no real way to put it more politely, I think, in that one. Yanks, I thought, got very fortunate yesterday with the 5-4 win. That 3-run homer by Jazz Chisholm in the first tends to held up pretty well for the entire game. Congrats to the Yanks for stopping that home winning streak for the Blue Jays. Now, we talked earlier about longer winning streaks and then all of a sudden losing a couple in a row. Bassett, I think, will keep this game close enough for the Blue Jays to possibly get in that bullpen of the Yanks and I think go to work a little bit. I do like the Blue Jays in this particular spot because Max Fried struggled so much as of late. I think you're getting great value here with them almost plus 120 as well. So give us the Blue Jays plus a half a run first 5 innings. Blue Jays plus 1.5 for the game. I think are a couple excellent opportunities in that particular game to bring home some dollars for you as well. Next game up, White Sox and the Tampa Bay Rays. Taj Bradley and Justin Cannon going off at 7:35 Eastern time frame. Taj has pitched all right. I mean, you know what you're going to get with Taj, right? He's going to give you 5 to 6 innings, 2 to 3 runs given up. You know, he's pretty consistent on what he's going to give you. Cannon on the other side can be a little more difficult. This series has been a little bit tighter than the Rays had hoped for. I'll put it to you that way. The Rays were like, all right, we get the White Sox for a couple games. All right, that should help. Hasn't really been their cup of tea here so far this series. Give us the White Sox plus a half a run first 5 innings. White Sox plus 1.5. As we start to see some closer and closer games here, if you want to even go out a little further, White Sox plus 2.5. I don't know if I play the White Sox on the money line in this particular game here, but they have hit the ball better, which is, you got to score runs, especially during the, regular season because they're not going to, in the postseason, a lot more pitching changes. They don't allow guys to give up 4 or 5 runs. They know runs are going to be limited, so they tend to switch those pitchers out a lot faster during the postseason. So during the regular season, you got to score. And the White Sox finally scored, some runs here in the last 4 or 5 games. But expect a close one. The White Sox keep it within 1 or 2. Probably the easiest way to play that is them on the run line. And then the final game of the night, 8:05 Eastern time. It's National Patrick Corbin Day. For all of you that have been following us for multiple years, you're aware of that. Actually, Corbin was god-awful with the Nats. He's had a better season with the Rangers. He's kind of ruined his national holiday for us, where it was just auto-fade Corbin. And here come the Rangers, by the way. DeGrom pitches fine last night. Rangers get a pretty easy victory. Tonight, though, this one's going to be a little tougher for the Rangers, I think, to get this one. Sears going for the A's. And the Rangers aren't monster favorites for being at home, $1.30 favorites. Going against the A's in this spot who have had a season that we anticipated a lot more from. We'll put it to you that way. But the pitching's been the issue for them all season long, and no question about it, except for Mason Miller for the most part. The pitching's been almost a disaster. Severino really hasn't done what they had hoped. I think this game should be quite a bit of scoring here. We would focus on the total. If we're in this one here, total's at 8.5. I think that's a little light for both these offenses. The Rangers have picked up the scoring pace on their side. The A's are always a danger to put up a double digits offensively, in this one. Over 4.5 the first 5 innings, over 8.5 of the game. I mean, there's all kinds of batters I think to really choose from in this one. Corey Seager is always popular in there. You got Rooker, Lawrence Butler hits a home run off of DeGrom on Tuesday. Jacob Wilson's in the lineup. There's all kinds of different guys here if you're looking for batter props in this particular game. All right, so we just went through a full slate of games for Wednesday, July 23rd. Just a reminder, this episode brought to you by Outlier. If you're looking for help with your next sports bets, Outlier, we will have a link in the comments section as well to get you over there to try that out. But fantastic data in that one. Trends, hit rates, all the bets, all the sports. If you're not wanting to pay for picks, like to do the research yourself, I highly recommend using Outlier. They will help you do all of that there. Also, private Discord channel is available. You will find the checkout link in the comments section as well. It's to our WHOP address. Once you check out, we will send you the Discord invite so you can hop on there as well. The Discord, it's not free. It is $50 per month. If you're wagering a couple $100 per month, I definitely recommend you get in there. Get some help. Sports wagering is a lot more fun when you're winning, not losing. And now, I will tell you this, parlays, if you're a parlay bettor, you better like losing more than you like winning, which most people do not like. So keep that in mind. You're going to lose a lot more on parlays than you're going to win. The key is when you win, you should win more money, right? But you're going to lose a lot more than you win. So you got mindset-wise, you kind of have to figure, you have to be able to take that in stride. If you can't take it in stride, just bet straight wagers. Yes, I understand betting $8 to win $5 is not a lot of fun, or betting 20 to win 15 is not a lot of fun. But you might be in a better mood, right? Mental happiness is worth quite a bit, so highly recommend that as well. Anyway, the WAP checkout link will be in the comments section as well. If you like the content you're seeing here, just make sure you hit the subscribe button or follow button, depending on the social media platform you're watching us on, and or make life simple for yourself. Turn on the notifications for that social media platform. You get a notification sent to your phone or device as well to let you know Sports Bets for Free's dropped a new episode of bets. Give you plenty of time to match those up with your bets, give you that ton of confidence you need heading to the betting app or betting window. Also, just a reminder, Thursday, we will, besides the baseball show, we will have out college football preview for the Big 12 as well, as we went through the ACC and SEC so far. So if you haven't had a chance to watch those episodes and you're into college football, highly recommend getting on those. We are a month away from week 0, which we're all excited about. We're going to have baseball, football going on at the same time. And then, once October hits, then we got 3 of them going on because we'll have the baseball playoffs. NBA will be started up and football going on. Crazy times of year. The Discord channel, we are in a lot of sports, just not baseball. We're college football, NFL football, we're Formula One, golf, WNBA, NBA, college basketball. We're involved in a lot of things. We don't play hockey. It's not the strength handicapping-wise for us, but in 3 of the 4 major sports, we are all over college and pro. Baseball, college baseball, we're not into as much as middle bats is cheating. Let's just be honest on that one as well. But do appreciate everybody's support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on our next episode.